Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Ben Zinn with Epic Guitar Instruction. Thanks so much for checking out this lesson today. We have a song lesson for you on Drink in My Hand, the big hit from Eric Church. And this is quickly, I think, becoming just a staple of modern country. And it's a great tune. A lot of fun, nice grooving rhythm, and some cool lead parts. So we're going to take you through all the main parts of the tune today. And yeah, let's dive in and check it out. So as you'll notice here, we are capoed at the 3rd fret. That's important to note. And yeah, so drop your capo in here at the 3rd fret. Everything that we're going to be playing is all capoed up here. So I want to start out and just take you through the chord progression of the tune, kind of give you a rough outline of what we're doing chord-wise, and then we'll dig in a little bit deeper with some of the specifics here. So as we take you through the chords here, it's important to note that we'll mention them relative to the capo. So for example, the first chord that we'll take a look at here is going to be an A chord. Even though it's not technically an A chord, we'll call it an A chord because that's the shape relative to the capo. So on this A chord, you'll notice that I'm barring with my first finger instead of playing it like this, like we might have in the past. Now the reason for that is we're right away going to take advantage of this bar to get us to an A over D chord. Okay, so that A over D chord would be spelled out as the 4th fret, the 2nd fret, and the 3rd fret with the 5th string open. So we have A, we have D over A. Okay, next we're going to go to an F sharp minor chord. And here, this is just a minor shape starting from the 2nd fret. I'm going to bar all the way across, and then I'm counting up here to the 4th fret, holding down with my ring and pinky finger. Okay, and then we're going to be up here to a D chord in the open position. And so that's going to take you through your verse. Now let's dive in a little bit and see how we're going to play this rhythmically. To start out the tune, what we're going to do is hammer on from the open strings into our barred position A. Really gives it a nice kind of Keith Richards-y vibe here to start out the tune. I like that a lot about this. Okay, and then we're going to play that and move into our D over A and kind of just let that sing out. So we're kind of setting the vibe of the tune before we kick into the verse. And then we're kind of coming from the D chord and going back to the A chord. Okay, so that intro all together here. Good way to kick off the tune. Now, as we get into the verse, we're just going to move through some of these chords here. The A, quick to the D over A, to the F sharp, to the D, and then back to the A. Now, if you want to embellish that a little bit when you get back to the A with a quick ring finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string, you can. Sometimes maybe you'll want to do it, sometimes maybe leave it out. Once you have the basic foundation, you can kind of sneak some of these things in here. So we can say that that's an optional thing that we'll add to that there as we're going through our verse. Now, the other main chord progression in the song, the chorus here, as you notice, we're seeing that we're moving from some open position chords to some bar chords and back and forth. And so there's some challenges, unique challenges there with our rhythm skills. And what we've done is we've put together a free video lesson that's not on YouTube that basically shows you how to practice these essential chord changing skills and rhythm skills. It's going to help you out with this song and countless others. So we've put together this free video lesson, not on YouTube, and there's an ebook that goes with it that diagrams everything that you need to know to develop these skills. All you got to do is just click on the link that you see below. Click on that link and we'll send you that free video lesson, free ebook from Epic Guitar Instruction. So getting into our chorus, we're just going to be moving to an open position E shape, to a D, and then back to an A. And just play it with a little bit of swagger in your rhythm and you're all good. After our first chorus, there's a great first little guitar solo here, nice and melodic, and we'll take you through that now here. So we're going to start out here on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and with my ring finger, what I want to do here is be in position to bend the string up. So meaning that I have enough arch on my finger that as soon as I pick it, I can get that up a whole step and bend that up to pitch. Now you'll notice that my pinky finger is going to be planted here at the 5th fret of the 2nd string. So it's ready to go. We're going to use him in just a moment here. But what we're going to do is we're going to bend this and release it and bend it again. And then we'll do that same thing again, except for 3 times the 2nd time, and then we're going to pick that pinky note. So that first little phrase. That's a good first part of it to get down. Now the second part starts out the same with a bend, release, and bend. Except for the tail now is going to be a little bit different. So if we think about this solo in 4 parts, we'll be able to piece everything together one at a time. The first part, a bend, release, or I should say a bend, release, and then bend. That's part 1. Part 2 is the bend, release, bend, and then the pinky note. Part 3 is the same as part 1. And so part 4 is going to be just a bend up from our ring finger note, and then pick the pinky finger note here. And then we're going to pick and release string 3, and bring it back down and finally end up here on the 2nd fret. That's our part 4. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. After that solo, you're back into a verse and back into a chorus, which we've already covered. So at this point, let's jump ahead to the 2nd solo in the tune. This is a really nice piece of melodic playing. It's pretty straightforward, but very tasteful. So what we're doing here is playing in a higher position on the neck, and we're going to make a D chord shape up here. The whole 2nd solo is sort of framed around this little D chord shape. You're going to start by taking your first finger and sliding into that 12th fret note here. And so all we're doing at the outset of this solo here is arpeggiating that shape. And we'll notice there at the tail end here, I'm adding my pinky finger to the 13th fret while still keeping my D chord formation in place here. So we could consider that part 1 of our second solo. Part 2 of our second solo, we're still in the same neighborhood here, but what we're going to do is change fingerings a little bit to help us execute a bend. So I'm going to keep my ring finger in position here, but I'm going to bring my middle finger to the 12th fret of the 3rd string so that I can bend it up a whole step. Okay, so that is bend up the 12th fret, strike the 2nd string, then pick the 3rd string, release, and bend back up, back to the 2nd string. All of that once again. And then we're going to do that same thing here, bend up the 12th fret of the 3rd string, but this time pick the 3rd string, release, and land here at the 10th fret of the 3rd string. So this would be all of part 2 of my second solo. Okay, we got that. Now let's recap and take a look at part 1 going into part 2. Now we're on to part 3 of our second solo. Start out the same way, slide into that D chord shape, and we're just going to play this rhythmically a little bit differently as we arpeggiate that little pattern. So same basic idea rhythmically. If you're jamming this tune and you just get into that shape and you're kind of working the arpeggio a little bit, that'll definitely get you there. If you want to get a little bit more specific with it, just listen to the timing here. And now when we get to this piece, do a pull off from the pinky to the 12th fret of the 1st string. That's the difference from the first time we did it. All together, 3rd part. And now finally our 4th part. So our 4th section of our solo here finds us sliding into the 14th fret. And by the way, I should mention when I'm capoed here and I get this far up the neck, I'm no longer calling it from the capoed, because I think that just gets a little confusing. When I get to the 12th fret, the double dots here, I'm just calling that the 12th fret, just to clear that up. So I'm going to call this the 14th fret, the true 14th fret. And I'm going to slide into that with my middle finger. And I'm going to grab the 13th fret here on the 2nd string with my 1st finger. Then 15th fret. And then back to the 13th fret. Now I'm going to fret this 15th fret note with my pinky and my ring finger here at the 15th fret of the 2nd string. So I'm holding this down ahead of time because I know I'm going to need it. I'm going to bend up the 2nd string and then immediately pick the 1st string. So, you know, that's a country staple of getting both of those strings to ring together. So that's a bend up, pick string 1, leave this bent up, then pick and release. So the tail end of that piece is the 15th fret here at the second string, 13th fret, back to 15th fret. Now, bend this up, so we're going to pre-bend it, but don't pick it yet. Once it's bent up to pitch, you'll hit the string. Now release it, but we don't want to hear it coming back down. So that's 15th fret, and finally now pick and bend up. And that closes you out. So here is the 4th section of our second solo. And one time, the whole second solo all together for you. Okay, so that's going to do it. Drink in My Hand, a lot of fun to play, great rhythm part, a couple of great lead parts. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson today. Once again, this is Ben for Epic Guitar Instruction. And hey, if you dug the lesson, be sure and subscribe. We'll let you know every time we upload new videos. We got new ones coming all the time. Give us a like if you dug the lesson. Leave us a comment below. We appreciate it so much, everyone. Once again, Epic Guitar Instruction. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.